going on, friends? Welcome back to the channel. So got something interesting here, a good comparison of what you can do with your Supra, spoken from from an owner. So obviously you guys know what's done to my car if you watch my other videos. And then you guys met Andrew and Jacob in my previous video. And so what's cool is that our cars have different mods to them. So we can tell you guys how it feels like, how it drives, and the characteristics of the car, because I'm sure plenty of you guys are wondering how that is like. So let's go ahead and begin. We have Jacob's car first, the downshift blue one. So go ahead and reintroduce yourself.
Hello everybody, I'm Jacob and this is my downshift blue Mark 5 Supra. It's a 2020. I believe that's the only year they sold this color in. So what's done to this car and what power point is it at? It's around 390 wheel horsepower, I want to say, and around the same for the torque. A lot of the 2020 stock will dyno about 365 wheel, and then the downpipe will add around 18-20 wheel horsepower to get you up to that 385, 390 level. So that's roughly where I am, just a Titan Motorsports Catless Downpipe, and then it has some awesome Motegis wrapped in Nitto RT555 R2s, thanks to Vince, got them off you.
Sure.
So with that, that's that. The car is excellent on the low end from digs and whatnot. It gets and goes, and I'm looking forward to one day getting it tuned. That's when the big gains will actually come in. So I'm eager for that.
What's your kind of end goal for the car, and just how does it drive in general?
It drives really good now. Definitely still need to get the wheels balanced, but they're awesome. The car hooks up amazingly. Haven't taken these down a twisty road, should do fine. But the car drives excellent. Not even, like the thick sidewall on these drag radials actually helps. But outside of that, end goal with the car, it would be awesome to be one of those really fast boys out there with a big turbo and everything. So that's probably gonna go for soon. Just have to stick along for the journey. But yeah, more than likely E85, big turbo, whatnot. What I plan on doing pretty soon is adding one of the extender wings. I think there's a lot of different ones out there for it, and they're only like $300 to $400. So I'll probably get one of those. It'll really help the car look slick. Vince is still recommending I get some springs. That would make the car look really clean, have a good stance to it, and then maybe a pure 800 in the future.
Let's
we'll
go.
See, right?
You should buy mine.
I very well may.
So at this power level, what types of cars are you able to beat or just keep up with? On
a day-to-day basis, this should beat anything that you run into in a stoplight, any stock 5.0, mostly any Mopar. Hellcats, of course, will eat this on a highway or anything, on any top end, but just getting around town, stoplight to stoplight, I don't think they stand a chance. They just spin a lot. But yeah, so you'll absolutely be able to beat out on all ends of the spectrum here. Any 5.7, especially if it's stock. 6.4, like a Scat Pack, it's a really, really even race. And then, like I said, with Hellcats on the top end, they'll get me. But just getting around town and everything, doing some low end pulls, this is a really solid car for that. It's hard to find something that'll beat it out. The power's really great for the weight and everything. Car's aerodynamic, it looks really great. So I don't know, I love it. I'm happy with the car. It's my baby, so. For sure.
There you guys have it. So there's Jacob's experience. Now, you hear from a different person other than me explaining the potential that this car has. So we'll bring it over to Andrew and his car.
So I'm Andrew. This is a 2020 also. There's some drunk people around here. So this is 2020 also. It is unlocked. It's tuned on EcuTek. It is Catless Downpipe from RK Tunes, and then MST intake and turbo inlet. This car is flex fuel, so it's on the Visconti kit. Visconti flex fuel kit. I'm doing like a E50 mixture right now. So that puts it around like low 500 wheel and then around 600 pound-feet of torque. So doing that downpipe and tune and flex fuel wakes this car up like to, I think it's like pinnacle, like street car performance, like without going like to like your really high end car mods and stuff like that. So I actually have a CTS turbo for it in the garage, so it's going to be crazy whenever I install that. But right now the car spins probably all through first and second gear into third.
What tires do you have on here again?
This is a 305 35 in the rear. So yeah, if you're not warmed up, it's going to spin straight through third gear. Once it's warmed up, it probably it'll spin through first for sure, but warmed up it'll catch in second and just start ripping. I think top end is all pretty good too. It keeps pulling. It doesn't die off like stock. I know you can definitely feel them die off in the top end, but once you do these mods, it's really open up top. Like you'll get, like for a stock turbo, the 61 30 times are like pretty crazy.
Oh yeah. How does it drive on the street?
Yeah, like I said, so it'll spin straight through third gear if you're not warmed up. Obviously that's with like a street radial and not necessarily a drag pack. But I like the form over function as far as wheels go.
So with that, I mean, if you guys have ever watched Baba Yaga Racing, like he has some crazy ass videos beating a bunch of different cars, but let's hear from you.
Yeah, so
with your own car. What do you smack on the street?
Yeah, so this is same kind of setup that Baba Yaga Racing had for a long time, just kind of E50 downpipe and tune, like
bolt-ons.
And bolt-ons just kind of walks everything. So like any of your like stock turbo Audis, BMWs, whatever they are, you know, pretty much anything that's going to be a stock turbo, it's going to walk. Hellcats, Corvettes, Camaros, Mustangs, anything like that, it's gonna get out on pretty quick. I want to say there's going to be a couple cars that are like like some higher level performance cars that it's probably going to get a little bit gapped by like a brand new GT500 at this power level is probably going to get out on it, but it's 200 more horsepower, so you can't really be too mad at that. So anyway, like I was saying, stuff like a GT500 or upgraded turbo like tuner cars like might have an edge on it, but again, any stock turbo cars, it's just gonna eat. So C8s look so slow compared to these things at
Corvette
this power
owners,
level.
please don't be triggered.
But yeah, so that's been my experience so far. Again, with that, Vince will talk about more when he moves this upgraded turbo, just how much these things can eat, and it's pretty intense. So.
For sure. There you guys have it. So there's another level, like this is a pretty good time to plug my other video with like mod costs, just because a lot of people, you know, you guys might be watching this and you're like, okay, yeah, I want to start modifying my stock Supra. How much is it going to cost? So I'll leave a link in probably this corner over here and you guys can check that out. But yeah, there you guys have it. And like, you know, with different simple mods, you guys can really eat a lot of different cars on the street. So now for my car, this is my daily driver. You guys already know, this is downpipe, exhaust, port injection, 1000cc injectors, E70, and then ultimately what makes the power is a pure 800. But every single other person that have the same exact mods, they make around that power level. So I'm not gonna go on here and try to toot my own horn with the horsepower because that really doesn't matter. But my car does trap 138 at the quarter mile, and around that time, that's a high 9-second car. So for a daily driver, that's not too bad. The car drives normal, like it drives like any stock car. So if you guys get in these two other Supras, and then you get in mine, and then you just go on the highway, on the street, whatever, it's legit gonna drive normal. You only really feel the power whenever you actually push it. So now for like cars that, you know, this will keep up with or just beat straight up on the street, like the transmission for this car, it's just so fast. It's not a dual clutch, but if you guys have ever ridden another car that has a ZF8, you already know how fast they are. So I also have a transmission tune on this, so it's even more crispy and it responds, you know, much faster. You know, it's not night and day or anything, but it does make a difference. So this will keep up with, you know, full bolt-on, supercharged ZL1s, C7 Z06s, you really need to have like, I mean, if we're talking about wheel horsepower, you need to have about over 800 to over 850 to make it a good race or just outright beat this car. So how often do you run into cars like that? Not really often. So like this kind of what I was talking about with Andrew off camera is I do low-key miss being around that 500 wheel, over 500 wheel, 600 torque power range, because you're not like so overpowering for a lot of cars, but having the power, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. Like Andrew's nodding his head right now. That's why he got the CTS turbo.
Yeah.
And you know, it's fantastic. So I like, from my personal opinion, I have no regrets. If I was to do this all over again, I definitely would. But yeah, now you guys understand, and now you guys have heard what it's like to drive a Supra at different mod levels, power levels, whatever. So hopefully this does help with your decision making, because I know for these cars, it's easy to mod them, but there's many different ways that you can go about it. So really think about the end goal for your car, what you want to do with it, whether it's a drag strip car, whether it's a circuit racer, or just a street car. You know, definitely think about that before dumping a lot of money into it, because if you guys have viewed my mods video, it can get expensive. So I'm kind of at that level where, you know, it's just gets stupid, insanely expensive. You know, this is like at the tip of the iceberg. So that's it. If you guys like this kind of content, let me know. Definitely subscribe to Jacob's YouTube channel. There you go. And then give him a follow on Instagram. And then also for Andrew.shreds. I messed it up on the previous video, but definitely give him a follow, because I mean, you guys can't miss out on the progress of his car, especially once he gets that turbo in. And look at this thing. I mean, Millennium Jade, fucking badass Supra. I mean, you can't miss it. And then of course you got Jacob's car, downshift blue, fucking sick as fuck. And then once you start, you know, dumping a lot of money into this, then you really make these drag radials work. So there you guys have it. Like and subscribe. Thank you guys again, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.